Hello everybody, I made some major progress on my robot. I know for the past couple of weeks I have not been uploading a lot of in-person content, me recording with my phone, just a bunch of competition videos and one or two, I think, one mechanism reveals. So I think it's about time to show off what work I have made on the robot. Let's get started. The first thing I did was change the flywheel design. Instead of the wheel design like I have here, you can see we have some wheels. We use these balloon wheels. I opted for this band roller design like Flying Cheese had. This is for two reasons. One, to completely eliminate the purple spinner. That thing back there. Different mechanism. I'll show that off later. But I completely eliminated this mechanism, and now I have a free motor, which is that thing back there. And this roller does two things. It shoots and it gets from the purple dispenser, and I'm going to show that off now. So we're here at the dispenser. All I do is click a button and it will get the discs from the dispenser. Now I know that this mechanism is definitely not the fastest, but it is pretty effective, and honestly I can't change the ratio at this point, so we're going to deal with it. Now, as you saw, the discs went into the flywheel seesaw like before, and that leads into my next major change, which was the seesaw. So I took all the discs out of the seesaw to highlight the major changes. First off, I added this 2x beam right here to increase the length of the ramp, as I noticed sometimes the discs were not getting enough speed going down the ramp, and I just needed more space. I also updated the moving guardrail design. Instead of using like a 1x beam like this, I use a 2x beam like this. And I have these weights on the side. They'll also have these 3 long pins here, so that it hits on the side of this dispenser and they don't go in here. We can still get yellow. I also added a singular pin, or actually it's a quarter pitch standoff right there, to basically like give the discs more randomness. I tried changing the angle of this sort of like back plate here, but it interfered with a lot of things and just really did not want to work out at all. Now, one of the things that this caused was I was not able to get the blue dispenser because this seesaw in its folded up form would be too long for the old 1x to reach. It would be right about here and it couldn't get over here. So I lengthened the 1x by 1 hole and I added the hook back. Works pretty well. Then I noticed, because of my updated guide rail design, these things were hitting when we had a full blue dispenser. They were hitting the new guide rails, and I couldn't move the seesaw all the way down, which caused a lot of misfires. So I shortened these beams, as you can see. I think this is the old beam. You can see they are one shorter, and it works really well. Perhaps the biggest drawback with the old robot was that I had very limited storage. I had the seesaw storage in here, but that was only after I got blue, because I can't get blue like this. Not gonna work. So that was definitely a challenge. And then the only other storage I had was up here in this basket, which is just for the blue dispenser. I've been getting a lot of comments actually showing me how that works. So I raise this arm. As you can see, the basket is connected via this 1x. It's on the other side too. You have this plastic sheet here. And then I just back up, hook on, pull down, and it works when it's faster. But yeah, it just dumps them like that. That was loud. Anyways, it just holds them here, and then when I want to, I can raise the arm and it will tip the basket back into there. Now back to the biggest change I made, and probably the most important change, was storage. I added a very nice method of storing things. So if I tilt the robots, you can see I have this 1-to-1 sprocket ratio right here. And there's a motor right behind here. That is the motor from the purple dispenser mechanism, which I saved. Endgame, it's going to be passive. Don't worry about that. Here I have an axle, the sprocket, makeshift attachment here because this ramp's at an angle. And as you can probably see, the axle runs all across here. You can kind of see it there. Now what that axle has is this really weird Gen 1 piece. Let me just get those up. It is this sort of like weird beam thing with a square hole at the end so it can fit on the axle. And what that allows us to do is store the purple dispenser in this basket. It's really cool. We couldn't do that before. Before, we had to store the purple in here, which meant that this ramp was sort of only a transportation ramp. It was not storage at all. Now it is storage. So I have that there. I can have things in the seesaw, such as the yellow dispenser, and then I can have things up here like the blue. Or I can have one purple here, a purple and a blue here, and a blue up top, which means I can hold 4, maybe even 5 dispensers if I wanted to. I could hold the whole field of my robot. It wouldn't work very well, but it's possible now, and it wasn't like earlier. So I think that's pretty cool. And now the way the discs get into the seesaw, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just gonna rotate the chain here. See these things just lower like that. And once they go past enough, the discs just go right into the seesaw. It works amazingly. Bit of more flywheel. It's just wire connection. You can see I have that is the motor for the, I'm calling it the storage arms. Then we have the flywheel. I use these black, I think they're called EPDM bands. One, because they look cool. 2, I think they last longer. I'm not sure. I have my other bands over there, if you can see. Very blurry, but, you know, what can you do about it? Yeah, same gear ratio over here, but actually I did have a big problem with my other flywheel. The axle I was using, I think it was this one. I'm not sure if it's this one, but it was an axle about that long, right? And this axle was actually bent. And I never really noticed that. I did sort of notice it indirectly. The flywheel didn't seem like it was reaching its full speed. And it was kind of weird. It was really loud too. And I never really figured out what the problem was until I took the flywheel completely apart to change it to this. And I realized that's making a really bad noise. So I switched out the axles. You can see here I just have a motor axle because I ran out of capped shafts. You can switch it later. 2 axles right there. This is the one that's being powered. And it's really smooth and pretty quiet for a flywheel, except for the squeaking noise. I have no idea what that is. You have the weight here to give it more inertia. Then underneath we have standoffs. The standoffs are there to give a bit of flexibility, because when you shoot like on a flat hard surface, the disc has no give. There's no give anywhere. So it really makes a really loud noise and gets almost no power at all. Also, people have been asking, why do I use 1x here and here? That is because compared to a plate, the plate has these ridges and the holes, and it makes it really friction-y for the disc to move along. Like if I have plates at this angle, the discs would not move along them at all. But the 1x's have this really smooth surface. That way the discs slowly but surely slide along, and when they're propelled by the purple dispenser, they slide really nicely. And then this one here, bit worse, but it's the same thing. So yeah, that is a robot update. A bit of a longer video, but still I think all the changes warrant it. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Please subscribe. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I'm not sure if I will upload another video this year, because you know the year ends in like 6 days. But yeah, expect a lot more content, more cool stuff. Introducing the teammates, gonna get some custom stuff in here. Should be pretty cool. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and that's all. Goodbye.